Well, in light of Thanksgiving, I came across a doozy for you. This was called the Elijah the Prophet. The Sunday school teacher was carefully explaining the story of Elijah the prophet and the false prophets involved. She explained how Elisha built the altar, put wood upon it, cut the steer into pieces, and laid it on the altar. And then Elijah commanded the people of God to fill 4 barrels of water and pour it over the altar. He had them do this for 4 times. Now, said the teacher, can anyone in the class tell me why the Lord would have Elijah pour water over the steer on the altar? A little girl in the back of the room raised her hand with great enthusiasm. To make gravy, she said. Okay. I thought it was a cute story. Well, today is the first Sunday in Advent. And you know, I always have a question for you, usually every week, don't I? So my question to you this week is, what does Advent mean to you? For most Christians that have grown up in the church, that would mean it's a celebration. It's time for preparation, but it's also time to reflect. You know what I had down here in my notes? We've survived another one. And in fact, I think they need to have a TV show about how we survive the holidays. Because if you remember what I said on Wednesday night, we talked about those nosy relatives, didn't we? Those ones that are always meddling into our business. Anybody have a relative like this that just kind of show through? I'm sure we're all very heightened to realize that that exists. And for a lot of us, we were feasting on the bird for the entire day. And probably for most of us, and I know me included, lots of naps got filtered in, depending upon where you were and how comfortable the chair was. And then we're moving from house to house, and we had a couple of family members that had 4 places to go on Thanksgiving, so they'd pop in and eat a little here. And, you know, they were going to the next spot and popping in and eating a little bit there. And by the end of the day, I can only imagine how full that tank was and how ready they were for probably to go to bed. And you know, it's kind of funny. I don't know if I'm ready to go back to work tomorrow. And why is that? I need a day off for vacation. We were busier on Thanksgiving Day than we would be just taking a day off and being at home. And I think we all kind of suffer from that, don't we? And then there's Black Friday. Or is there anybody in this congregation who was absolutely crazy enough to go out into this mess? All right. When healing service time comes, you come down. We will pray over you. We will lay hands on you and say, are you nuts? And I wonder, has anybody ever looked up how they got the word Black Friday? I don't know what's so black about it. In fact, they need to call it Red Friday. And why do we call it red? Because I can see our credit card debt getting redder and redder and redder. And probably it's black because of all the retailers that are making all this money. But I think they have it all wrong. And in fact, I even came up with a couple sermons starting in January for those that kind of go over their budget. And here were my titles that I came up with. How to get out of debt when you know better than the first time. Number 2, 10 reasons why I should listen to my pastor's advice on finance and money matters on Sundays. And 3, want versus need. What I really want and what I really don't need. So, you know, my advice to you on Black Friday, for the 2 of you who ventured out, stay at home. It's much safer. It's a zoo out there. In fact, I went out on the day after Black Friday. I had 2 errands to run.